What's going on, guys? This is the Fullstack bro coming at you with another video today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 10 reasons why you are not progressing as a developer. Now, as a junior level developer or entry level, you're going to start working on small little bugs, small little projects, and gradually get into like more complex ones. And a lot of developers today are either too comfortable being in that bubble to where they're just working on one particular thing and not jumping into something new, or not at least trying to do the hard things. And that's ultimately what's going to help you grow. But here are some of the 10 reasons why you're not growing. And maybe you could start looking at those habits and build into creating new habits that's going to help you become better. Okay. So the first one is your comfort zone. You're way too comfortable. You're way too comfortable working on small little bugs. You're way too comfortable just having someone hold your hand and help you solve a problem. You're not taking it upon yourself to look for the answer and actually apply and try different things to solve a problem. And this is going to show, especially when you start to work on more in-depth projects. You're going to give up. You're going to give up with trying to solve a complex problem, and you're going to be discouraged, and you're going to come up with this imposter syndrome, and you're going to blame yourself for not figuring the stuff out, and you're going to just look at other people and think that they know better than you. If you were to jump out of that, right? Like, get a project that is very complex and understand it from the start to finish. What's the hardest, what's the easiest, and then compile your results and figure out what you want to tackle first. You're going to realize that these projects are not even that bad. You have to look at projects in different things that you're going to be doing in your career. You got to look at it as something that's going to help you jump into another skill set, right? Like improve your expertise. So if all you're working on is easy projects, you're never going to progress any further. You always have to ask for complex projects. If something is very easy to you, do something that's out of the box. Try to incorporate building something that hasn't really been done before. Look at something to where you could really invest your time, have fun doing it, and get into that habit of always doing the hard things. Because staying in your comfort zone is not going to give you any growth, and you're going to be discouraged at the end of the day, and you're going to be stuck where you are now. Number 2, you're not practicing enough. You're not coding enough. If you want to learn how to code, you have to do it every single day. Now, does that mean you have to sit in front of a computer for 5 hours a day and do that? No. You should, at least as a beginner, aim for an hour or 30 minutes a day of just coding. You need to learn languages that you want to learn. Just don't go for a language that's the most popular out there. If there's something that you really want to learn and you've been interested in, learn that. But focus on learning that language until you get really good at it, and then move on to something else. You shouldn't be learning multiple languages at once, because what's going to happen is you're not going to grasp the concepts. You're not going to understand the key concepts and why it's important to use that language, right? And you're going to have to just pick one, learn as much as you can. Once you get a good understanding of the foundations, move on to the second one, third, and so on and so forth, or whatever you want to learn. That's going to help you with your practice. It's going to help you understand what you could build with those languages, and any ideas that you have, you could just execute and start writing code. It doesn't have to be the prettiest code out there. It doesn't have to be the most functional. As long as you are practicing, and then say months later, you finish with the project, you go back to it and you know how to refactor it, that shows progress. Make sure you set time to practice, especially if you're entry level. Number 3, lack of continuous learning. You're not learning anything new. You're just sticking with one thing. You have to just get out of not learning new frameworks, right? Try it out. It doesn't matter. If it's something that you don't necessarily agree with, just try it out and see if it's something that you might use in the future. If there's a new framework or language that's coming out that a lot of people are talking about, and it's something that interests you, by all means, do the research and go for it and just try it out on your own. If you hate the syntax, if you hate how it works, then you could just abandon it. It's not like you're stuck with just learning it. It's up to you if you want to learn a language or not. So always, when it comes to new technologies, new frameworks, just give it a try. You know, it doesn't hurt. I've learned, for example, I was a big Material UI guy. I used to love using Material UI to like build out my applications and make it look nice and pretty, right? Then I was introduced to Mantine. And Mantine is just like Material UI, but there's a lot you could do with it. It's way easier to manage. You could create better theming with it. It's just more polished and more professional. So if you're looking to build a real world application, Material UI, Mantine, Chakra UI, are some of the good ones that are out there, and you can just start building that out from scratch. You don't have to rewrite a lot of those components that you want to do to create a well-working app. Everything is already baked in. You just have to create the functionality and then execute your plan there, okay? So always be a student, learn as much as you can, and take advice from other people that actually know more than you and ask the right questions. Number 4, you're not getting the right feedback. You're not getting the right feedback in terms of your code, how things are functioning, what you could improve on. No one's giving you any valuable information as to get better, any constructive criticism. Now, if you need help with that, you can reach out to me at thefullstackbro@gmail.com. I can help you peer review your code, ask me any questions on coding in general. Like if you're stuck trying to figure out what route you want to go, ask your boy, I got you, okay? Because I've been doing this a while and I've made a ton of mistakes. And the way I got from junior to a full stack developer, all that was because of my past experiences and who I met along the way to help me. And I want to do the same thing for you guys. So if you have any questions, like I said, reach out to me directly, ask me any questions that you want, and I'll be sure to reach back out to you. Lack of mentorship or not getting the right feedback is going to keep you in the same place. You can't do it on your own. You need a team to build something, right? You could try to do as much as you want on your own, but at the end of the day, you got to have a team behind you. Always look for valuable feedback. If you're just working on your own, you're not necessarily working on a team yet, go to Reddit, ask questions. Does this code look good? Or can you look at my GitHub project and give me some critical feedback? And most likely you will get that feedback. Having a good feedback cycle in terms of how you could improve is going to help you in the long run, and you're going to be more efficient and grow because of it. Number 5, you are neglecting your soft skills. Some developers don't like to speak, and I get that. And some developers don't like to put themselves out there because, I don't know, if it's fear of judgment, if it's just like they're just introverted to the point where they don't want to, engage with people. And to be honest with you, that's fine if you want to do that. But if you want to grow, you have to take yourself out of your comfort zone, like I said, right? So you have to get used to talking with other people. You have to get used to being, a team player, talking to other people on the team, getting their feedback, being the one to speak up in meetings, having a mindset to where you could provide value and just not just be there writing code all day, okay? Or just being behind the scenes. You just have to work on your communication, how you solve problems, how do you go about solving problems, pulling people in when you need to, not just sitting there spending hours trying to solve a problem. My philosophy is after an hour of working on a problem, if I'm stuck on something and it's taking me a long time to do the research and figure out how to solve that problem, I'm reaching out to someone on my team and asking them like, hey, can you help me with this when you got a chance? And just get on that call and just really talk about what needs to be done, because they might have the answer already there and all you have to do is just write the code out and you're done, right? And then you learn from that, just having that communication, that feedback. So, don't neglect your soft skills. Be the one to talk all the time and just know what you're talking about. Talk with different people. Just don't keep it technical all the time. Talk about other things, like have hobbies to talk about. I don't know. Just be the one to just go out there, talk with other people, ask them questions, understand who they are, and you'll get the same thing as well. Number 6, your fear of making mistakes. You're scared of making a mistake. As a developer, you're going to be making mistakes all the time. It doesn't matter. So you can't neglect that. Trying to be perfect is going to lead to more issues. I used to be that way before, to where I would just write code and try to get it to be as perfect as possible, but it actually would cause more issues because either I didn't understand the requirements, I didn't ask the right questions, I wasn't the one to speak up during like, tech planning for like a project that I need to work through. You have to at least make those mistakes to not make them again and learn from those, right? So the more you make mistakes, the more you will learn, the wiser you will be, and the easier things will get. And you will understand what's a calculated risk versus just taking a risk. And just have that confidence that, if you put something out there, if you were to write code for a project that is actually gonna work, and if it does fail in production, it's okay. You could roll that back, work on it some more, make improvements, ask other people for help, and you'll get there. But staying to yourself and just writing code and just taking it as face value is not gonna help you. Number 7, burnout or lack of passion. Now, if you're working 24/7, taking no breaks, not really putting in the time for your own self-care, you're gonna hate doing this, because being a developer is very taxing, both physically and mentally. A lot of people now are working from home, right? You're not going into the office, you're not doing the rush hour traffic, going in and out, and they're just in one place. Like, they're just working, doing their job, and that's it. If that's all you're doing and you're attending a bunch of meetings, you're working through deadlines, and you're trying to you're just trying to stay afloat, it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna hate what you're doing. I was a person that was like that too. It was at some point in my career where I was just, instead of just doing at least 6 hours a day of just like working, I was doing more than like 12 hours a day. And it was because I just wanted to get stuff done, and I thought working hard would actually help me progress the next day or the next week. It actually did the opposite. I became more frustrated because I had more problems to solve. So if you're working on something and you can't necessarily get that done, it's okay. Just leave it to the next day. Just start on that next, right? On the next day. Whatever you left off, continue with that progress. And then once that project is done, you forget about it. That's it. You're not emotionally invested in getting these deadlines done, because at the end of the day, you want that project to succeed, right? You just don't want to push stuff out there just because of a deadline. When it comes to deadlines, just look at it as like, we would like to get this done by this date, but ultimately, if there's a major issue with it, then we could push it back a little bit and just explain to the stakeholders like, hey, we had some complications with some of the requirements that we wasn't necessarily aware of, some of the edge cases, okay? So we're gonna extend the deadline of this project so that we could get it done more effectively. And that's gonna help you with your stress levels. Everybody else will be on the same page, and they're not gonna be wondering what's going on or if you're actually doing your job. Just keep it honest, transparent like that will save you a lot of rush as opposed to just trying to rush to get that deadline. So, that's gonna lead to burnout if you don't do that. So always speak up when you can't get something done or there's a major problem, because you're gonna hate your job, you're gonna hate what you do, and you're gonna look for something elsewhere, okay? Number 8, lack of clear goals. You don't understand your why. Like, what do you wanna do as a developer? Do you wanna just write code and just make money? Everybody wants to be a developer now. Like, a lot of people wanna jump in tech because of the money, but ultimately, you have to have the mindset to do it. And it's not just all like, I'm just gonna work on the small bug and that's it, right? Like, and it's all smiles at the end of the day. And then I'm working from home, and I have more flexibility with my time and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. If you don't prioritize what needs to get done first, or how to solve problems in a way that it will set you up for success for the next day, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna sit there and regret being a developer. And understanding your why first, like, why do I want to be a developer? Is it because of the technology, the amount of possibilities and opportunities that are available if I was to learn these different languages? Is it because you're enamored by technology? Some of these things you have to take into consideration. And if that's what you want to do, then this is a great career field for you. But you have to understand that it comes with a lot of days where you're just working on something that's very easy and you have more time in a day to do other things. And then there's going to be times where your whole entire week is just booked because you have this project that you want to get done. And there's a lot of communication back and forth with stakeholders and just writing code, making sure that it works, shipping it out to QA looking at it, then they sending it back because it doesn't work correctly. You have to deal with that back and forth game. So if this is what you want to do, this is a good career for you. If not, look for something else. Number 9, you don't have physical fitness. You just sit there, write code, you don't move around, you're eating junk food, you're doing the wrong things, you have the wrong habits. You have to stay physically fit. I could tell you right now, I go to the gym at least 5 times a week, right? Not because I need to do that, just because I love working out. Like, I love the results of working out, how you feel afterwards. Say, for example, if I had a really long day and I've been, grinding, working for 4 hours, just writing code, staying locked in, getting stuff done. And then after that, I'm like, mentally fatigued. Guess what? I'm going to the gym, I'm working out, I'm putting in the time and the work there. And then I'm de-stressing. I'm coming back with a completely chill mindset now. And this happens every single day I go to the gym. And this has helped me solve complex problems too. There'll be times where I'm stuck on a problem and I'm trying to figure out why can I not figure this out? I'm thinking about it from different angles and I'm trying to just write code just to solve it, but it will get to that point where it looks like it's solved, but then there's another edge case that comes back, right? You're like, oh my God, here we go. So what I would do, either I would go for a walk or go to the gym. I get my gym session in, I come back, I'm ready to go. Now I know how to solve this problem now because now I'm thinking more clearly. I just took some time to step away from the computer, not work out, really focus on myself, come back. Now I'm in a fresher mindset. So do not neglect your physical fitness as a developer. If you do this, not only are you gonna be mentally fatigued, you're gonna lack in your sleeping, you're gonna be more sick. You don't even want to deal with that. So make sure that you prioritize fitness. If you're a beginner in fitness, at least 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's it. Until you get acclimated to working out, then you could up that to 4 days a week, 5 days a week, if you become that dedicated, okay? Don't neglect your physical fitness. It will help you tremendously. And the last thing, number 10, time management. You're not managing your time. You're just either multitasking on a lot of different things. You're putting off projects just because you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna work on this one project, and you saw something that was much more interesting, so you abandoned that project to work on that one. Then you got frustrated because you couldn't figure out how to proceed next after you got stuck. This is a killer for developers. It's not managing their time and actually having accountability for what they want to build and what they want to do. You have to manage your time on a day-to-day basis. Have a calendar, right? On this day, at this time, I'm going to code. I'm going to work on this project. I'm going to put at least an hour on this project, and have that every single day. If every single day is too much, you could do Monday through Friday, right? Monday through Friday, I'm going to be coding for an hour, and I'm going to be working on this project and try to solve as many problems that I can and think of other edge cases and business cases that I can add to this project to make it more better, to increase my understanding of the key concepts of what makes the languages that I'm pursuing so great, to where I could create an application with ease and not have to deal with it. So always schedule your time day to day to where you're more efficient. You'll be more productive if you do this, as opposed to just being like, I'm just gonna work on this and just flip flop back and forth. Focus on that one thing first every single day, then focus on the next thing, and you should do fine, okay? So that's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if these 10 habits are something that you've been dealing with, right? And whether, the solution to these 10 habits to create new habits will help you. And if there's anything that I missed, please write down in the comments, and we'll talk soon.